All right, Shalom. All praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to all you brothers teaching the truth and sincerity. All right, this is Tavi off, GMS Boston. And as you can see, we are at the beginning stages of the perilous times that the scriptures are speaking of in prophecy, and we're at that time where Yahweh Shai also said these things would start happening before his great return. Okay, and as you can see on the screen, it says the future is filled with looting, rioting, and civil unrest, warns Michael Snyder. And you know, this is a time in itself where everyday prophecies are just coming forth. All right, and this is it's time where it says in Job that their own counsel shall cast them down. Right? As I read on in this article, it says, in case you haven't noticed, civilization, if you can't even call it that anymore, is crumbling before our very eyes, right? Pursuant to 2nd Ezra 9:1. Okay. That's one of the many things that you can equate that with. Okay. As it comes up, let's grab it real quick. When you read back to the previous chapter, the last two verses, all right, let's go down to them, and then we go forward from there. All right. It says, these things have I not shown unto all men, but unto thee. This is 2nd Ezra 8:62, Salaki. It says, these things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee, and a few like thee. Then answered I and said, behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not showed me. Right? Because this is for an appointed time. All right? And he says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of these signs pass, which I have told thee, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world he made. So, the Most High is starting to visit this world, right? Through these calamities that we're seeing on a day-to-day basis now. It says murder rates are soaring, mass shootings are becoming commonplace, and extreme degeneracy. As Michael Snyder from the Economic Collapse blog puts it, is rampant and widespread. Some of these events are staged false flags, of course, but some of them are also real. There is a clear and obvious social decline taking place that has most become normal due to its frequency and severity. All right, so I was watching the Roman Empire, episode 6, the fall of the Roman Empire. All right, and let's go to 8:1. All right. Lucky.
Understand how far the Romans went. And we've got a long, long way to go. Being a couch potato now, is a lot different than being a Colosseum potato.
And that was said. Um, I don't know if this actually came out in 2014, but that was some time ago. It looks like it's modernized around 2000. Okay, but that's how much time flew by that quick. And look at the state of this place.
2,000 years ago.
Intent on distracting themselves, most Romans didn't notice the social fabric of their empire shredding all around them. Rome's sense of community had disappeared. The elite were increasingly isolated from the poor.
They are greedy. Their language is foul and senseless. The manners of the poor have decayed completely. They're quarrelsome and make disgusting noises by snorting loudly through their noses. Ammianus.
And that's generally okay what this guy Snyder says. Okay. Social decline taking place that has almost become normal due to its frequency and severity. To a certain extent, a lot of these things seem normal to many of us at this point. Snyder's right, but the truth is that what we are experiencing is not even close to normal. We are literally watching our entire society slowly but surely go down the tubes, and it is heartbreaking to watch. Well, for some it would be heartbreaking, but to men that follow after the true words of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we're rejoicing, man. Okay. And he's absolutely correct. This place is circling the drain. All right. Just last Saturday, a group of looters stormed the North California Nordstrom store and just ransacked it. Roughly 80 individuals, all masked to protect against, the participations, entered the store with crowbars and began grabbing anything and everything they could get their hands on. According to the police report from the Walnut Creek Police Department, the mob was in and out of the store in a matter of minutes. It was well coordinated and there was no stopping it, in other words. This sort of organized crime is becoming increasingly common, but the size and scale of this particular attack was particularly alarming. Snyder says this happened in one of the most prosperous areas of Northern California, and one eyewitness described it as like a scene out of a movie, right? And there's going to be more of these things happening, right? Because the people are mourning, right? Let's see. Proverbs 29 and 1. Well, I start at 2. Proverbs 29 and 2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Right? And because of the people mourning, more crimes of this magnitude is going to happen when you read 2nd Ezra 16, 2nd Ezra 15, which we're going to grab, but it's running the same course as this downfall of Rome is portraying, man. Okay. And by the time I get to 47, you'll see why. Okay. 47 minute mark. Right. So let's go to 1424.
And resentment. In April 248 AD, the Emperor Philip staged the Millennium Games. Rome was 1,000 years old and celebrating its birthday in the only way it knew how. The grandiose spectacle of ritual, races, and bloodletting. As Romans celebrated, barbarian armies hammered the empire's frontiers. Rebellions were...
Right? So, while they was having a grand old time, right? Just like Americans, okay, which is the second leg of Rome, so to speak, or the second head of Rome, Babylon the Great, aka America. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes 10 and 6. It says, "Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place." Right, and that's going to speaking on, you know, everything that's silly and stupid is head out of high regard, while the children of Israel, who are the rich, are at the bottom of the barrel. Okay. And when you look at this documentary, well, it goes into what happens when you sit on or oppress groups of people, right?
were breaking out in the provinces.
See? And that's what you have going on now, right? You have protests. Jump down some. All right. It says following the current court case that was over, all right, upwards of 150 rioters converged on Portland and began starting fires and smashing properties. Okay, let's go down some. It says way too often the bad guys are starting to get the upper hand in situations like this. Snyder further writes, and I think that does not bode well for the troubled times ahead, right? Snyder has been warning for a while now that this type of thing would increase. Chalk it up, all up to the new normal, we suppose, right? And the Lord spoke of these things way before this guy Snyder did, okay? Meanwhile, violent protests are breaking out in Europe and other parts of the world as well, due to lockdowns and other participant restrictions being forced on the masses for the 1-9, okay? Austria, Croatia, Italy, Belgium, Northern Ireland, the French territory of Guadeloupe, and the Netherlands are among the countries where civil unrest is reaching a boiling point. Though for other reasons, part of living in a civilized society is being able to trust the government to do the right thing most of the time, Snyder says, right? And when you go to let's go to it. Second Ezra's, right? Let's go to it. 15. Just jump right to the point. Let's go to the start at 14, it says, Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for their sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So these people, okay, around the world, in America, which is Babylon the Great, about to infringe on this part of the movie. Okay, they're about to act upon it. All right, they're not going to be listening to anybody from their government. All right, because that time is over, just like you're going to see in this little snippet of this documentary.
With their world collapsing into chaos, the Roman thirst for macabre distraction grew. The death toll from the Millennium Festival was spectacular even by Roman standards. 1,000 gladiators and hundreds of exotic animals were killed. Leopards, lions, elephants, giraffes, tigers, hippos, and even a rhinoceros. Noisy crowds paraded statues of the gods through the streets. Priests heaped offerings in front of the temples, praying for a return of Rome's good fortune.
And they even do that here, okay? And what's the thing that they do here? They do the Catholic Church, Cesare Borgia, the white Jesus, okay? And they pray to that God for a better tomorrow, okay? But it's not coming, okay? Thus said the Holy Scriptures, man. This place is out of here. All right. Let's go to 26 real quick.
Shut out of the Chinese lowlands, they had no option but to move west. As they headed for Europe, they pushed all the tribes in their path further west as well. In the 3rd century, wave after wave of uprooted peoples were pushed up against Rome's northeastern frontier.
Sounds familiar? Let me see. So the model that the whole world copied to put a civilization in progress, the model is flawed, man. Okay, because it was made up by you know, the people who don't have salvation coming their way, right? And when you read Obadiah 1:18, that says it all right there. Okay, these people have set up a way that can't go any further than death and carnage at the end of everything. Okay, that's what you're starting to see. All right, it's the program that's put in place for them never to succeed, even though they think they succeed and they're not. All right, let's go here real quick.
Used Valerian as a stepping stool to mount his horse. When Valerian died in captivity, the Persians skinned him and hung his hide in a temple for all to see. Rome's huge.
All right, and that's even signifying to what we just seen at the beginning of this year. Okay, with them fleeing from Iran. Okay, with great haste. Okay, That was a defeat. Okay, and America. This is how you know that this is it for Rome 2.0. All right, and I'm just picking out some certain points. It's running the same course as the latter day Rome. Let's go here.
There was a furious recruitment drive. By the year 300, there were almost 500,000 Roman soldiers, and the legions were still growing. The only way to maintain this gigantic military machine was taxation. Taxes rose and inflation spiraled. Roman currency, the denarius, was progressively devalued. Once again...
Sounds familiar? The American dollar is devalued. Okay. This place is gonna go out the same way. Same way. There's no doubt in the matter. All right. Have an article right here. You're seeing on the history documentary. Okay. What more can you say? All right. And even with the current attack that happened, this is what they're pushing for. They're pushing for. Let's go here. Well, let's back up right here.
Power began to swell. Bureaucracies multiplied. The people who oversaw the postal system, the speculatores, had become the world's first full-fledged intelligence operation. Spies.
And that's the same thing as today. They don't have to have speculatories all over the place. They got your goddamn cell phone in your pocket. And it listens just as well. Okay. So this place is it's the same model. This very same model. Living day model in other places as well. But this place is the special dedication to the Roman Empire. Okay. This is the places with same architecture, the same references time and time again. How the judicial system is set up, how the Senate House is set up, how, things that just run mirror image of Rome, okay? The Roman Empire, right? And you about to hear.
Were everywhere, reporting any signs of rebellion in the provinces. Emperors were obsessed with maintaining control. Rome was moving slowly but surely towards the totalitarian regimes that would preside over its final collapse. In 285 AD, realizing the empire was becoming bloated and top-heavy, the Emperor Diocletian embarked on reforms to streamline it. He split the imperial bureaucracies into two linked empires, 2 emperors and 2 armies. He froze prices, putting the brakes on runaway inflation, and banned a subversive cult called Christianity.
And that's where we are right now as well. So that incident that happened, and they saying that this guy was a black Hebrew Israelite. Well, this is a stepping stone for them to try to ban Christianity. All right, you see how it's all playing back to that same stance as the Roman Empire had. All right, that's how you definitely could tell that this place is done. All right, It doesn't have anything new to offer. And plus, the preacher, Solomon, said there's no new thing under the sun. Right? The Lord gave them an appointed bounds. Okay? The so-called white man. And the appointed bound he gave them is in the model of society for all these nations, because they're in the shadow of Rome. Okay, they're always going to be in that shadow, just like this guy is going to explain right here towards the end. Let's just grab it, and then I'll start bringing out some scriptures.
Commitment to discipline, to winning, to victory, to war. And in the history of the human race, the creation of large empires has been fundamentally important, even though it's no longer fashionable. The creation of peace, the creation of law, order, the institutions of Senate, the creation of money, democracy.
The creation of peace. These devils gotta go, man.
Elections, voting, all these, even if some of them are only the perpetuation of the Greek tradition, have been fundamental in modern European culture.
With Rome's passing, the West's long love affair with its memory began.
And that just shows you Job 9:24 is the truth. Okay, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. Right? And when you read First Maccabees, okay, it tells you let's get it. Salaki just popped into my head. I wasn't expecting to get this, but bear with me. I'm looking for it. Let me go to the next one. Oh, I can't remember. I'll get this one instead. Malachi 1:4. I'll get that one. It says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts. All right. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord had indignation forever. Yeah, because as you can see from that point of them starting a civilization, and they using the same model, it's always going to end the same way. And the only thing that they're going to try to do in this new world order is they're going to try to some way in their minds, they think they're gonna change the ending, all right, with the rebirth, okay, trying to make Satan beautiful, all right, and present him as a god through what? Through science, okay, with big miracles, using technology, okay, but it ain't gonna work. It's always gonna end the same way, as I read in the scripture just then.
Paradoxically, it was the Christian church that faithfully kept the language and culture of its former persecutor alive.
Simply walk into any church. In its architecture and design, you have just walked in to a Roman imperial palace.
Proof again, okay? Everything's Rome, everything.
The early Roman Republic inspired democracies and high ideals down to the present day. But the empire it became left a very different legacy. When the French Emperor Napoleon claimed to have Roman blood coursing through his veins, it wasn't the Republic, but the empire and its all-powerful rulers he was thinking of.
The great danger is that we believe that the Roman Empire was a good thing.
See?
That is a 19th century view. It's the reason why in Britain people learnt the classics. They learnt the classics and they read their Livy in order to know how to govern India. Because Britain saw herself as doing exactly what the Romans had done.
Therefore, what's the problem over there in India now? It's overpopulation, number one. Now it's famine, it's pestilence. Okay? And then you have all these gods. You see, the kingdom of heaven is not going to be ran with this stupid ass mind state. Okay? The kingdom of heaven is going to be dealt. It's going to be ran in righteousness, man. This is the problem. The setup. The setup is the whole problem. By who? By the wicked. All right? That's why things keep on falling apart. All right? And any civilization that uses this as a model, it will not succeed. It will fail always. Right? So, I brought that out because this is how you know that we're at the end of days, man. This is it. And this is Mark 13 and 19. It says, "For in those days shall be afflictions, such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which the Most High Power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, created unto this time, neither shall be. And except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days." Okay? Because, like I said, they're gonna try to repackage themselves. Alright? And use science as their God. Okay? And they want everybody to be under science. And cast the Most High to the side. And what you do, their ultimate scheme for the New World Order is to have you chipped, okay, pursuant to Revelations, the 13th chapter, all right, and follow them, okay. Let's go forward. And this is it, man. This is it. Let's go down to yep. 16 and 14. Let me read this real quick. It says, "Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Right? And he's starting to see that. It says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulations and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Right? And that's what you're starting to see, man. All right. Pursuant to this, right here, this article, what you've seen in the history documentary. And then when you read on the side over here, you got stories going on. All right. As we just, things happening. All right. Let me see. It was one up here. Austria, first Western country to force participations on all citizens. Dissidents will not be tolerated. Okay. You can't make this up, man. This is really going on. NYPD cops say far left politics absolutely destroying NYC. Why? Because it's ran underneath that model of total control, and they have to have everything in their possession, man. Everything. So this is not going to end good. And as you can see, like in the documentary, right? This is the end result. Fires everywhere, just like the scripture said. All right, fires, plagues. Okay, great sorrows, great mournings. It's all coming, man. It's coming this way swiftly. So with that, I want to say all praises due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.